Hi, YouTubies! It's me, Zachary Michael. Also! And we are back with the Reborn Doll Baby Mama drama today. Yes. So there was a second story from, a second video, I should say, from Angel about what happened with, what was her name? Simply Flower? Simple Flower? Springflower, Miss Springflower, Miss Springflower. That's who it was. Yeah. So some people from the community went and watched this additional video from Miss Angel and said, I don't know, maybe there's some maybe maybe there's some different perspectives. She was from Bermuda. Springflower was from Bermuda. We need to hear Guadalupe Chili Pepper's side of this. No tea. But I do know that potentially for some people here in Twitch and or maybe people watching at home on the YouTubies, perhaps you didn't watch yesterday's reaction, and that's fine. But I will only give you the briefest of Too Long Didn't Watch, okay? So this is Angel. Angel paints reborn dolls. Angel had agreed to paint some reborn dolls for a larger content creator named Springflower, okay? Springflower waited a long time to get the dolls, and Angel said that's because she didn't realize that the tariffs, the Donald Trump tariffs, which are impacting even the reborn doll community, she didn't realize that the tariffs were going to be so expensive to send and ship the reborn dolls to Springflower, who's from Bermuda. Okay, and so this obviously caused some rifts between them, and Miss Angel here had voice notes from Springflower, who was upset that she was getting the runaround from Angel and called Angel a scammer. Okay. Now, Angel at some point said that Springflower had issued a chargeback, but then she also said that she had given Springflower a refund, like automatically gave a refund. So I don't know. That's basically it. That's basically where we left things. We did watch a little bit of a video from Springflower, who was essentially like, sometimes people on the internet are weird, okay? Sometimes you just have to deal with it, but I appreciate everybody supporting me and blah, 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 blah. All right, so here we are. So this is Angel from Angel's Imperfect Babies. And she's got a second video. I think we're only gonna watch half of this video. Jane in the chat did in fact watch through this, said probably the first 33 minutes or so are important, and I also have her on 1.5, because one thing about Miss Angel is she is gonna ramble before she makes it to the point. Which, like, I can relate, and y'all probably can relate a little bit as well, because y'all watch me here on Twitch, on the YouTubies, whoever, whatever. But yeah. This baby is the topic of the debate. Would you look at this baby's face? Would you look at this baby's face, though? So anyways, are y'all ready? Y'all ready to get caught up? Oh, yeah. Also, Jane did give a little bit of a content warning. She just said, before we start, we should talk about the fact that Angel, here pictured on screen, will talk about a child's illness/medical distress. It's nothing too specific, and it's mostly just her feelings surrounding that topic during that time. And the child has a positive outcome, but just in case anybody feels like that might be something challenging to listen to right now, feel free to come back to this video when you're in a different place, or not come back at all if that's what you need, okay? All right. Stunning. Amazing. So if you're ready, chat, could you put some 69s? That baby knows God's side. Maybe that baby will communicate God's side to us today. I do still need to hear God's side, because something's going on, don't you think? Don't you think just a little bit that something's up in the state of Denmark? We need a gifted reader to give us God's side, like Sylvia Brown. That's who we really need, Sylvia Brown. We need her to come in here and let us know what's up. All right. I got the captions on. We got her on 1.5 speed. Let's get to. Is that half a baby / doll on the shelf behind her? Are you talking about these like busts? Or are you talking about this up here? These are like those Barbie doll like heads that you could like do their hair. This thing on the very top, I don't know what that is. Like in this little rainbow thing. I don't know what Miss Ma'am is. And what is this cone head looking minion? I don't know. Girl, I don't know. Yeah, Sylvia Brown is not alive, no. This is somewhat reminiscent of the time I got stoned and stayed up till 3:30 a.m. looking at haunted dolls for sale on eBay. I love that. Oh, wait, one more thing I was going to say. Shout out to the people in the comments of the resin community drama video, because y'all have given me a lot of leads about a lot of other random ass drama to follow up on. So we will be looking. People like, if you think that's crazy, you should know about the drama in the fountain pen community. You should know about the drama in the embroidery community. Well, all right, we will be looking it up. We'll be looking. Okay? We'll be looking. And you're always welcome to give me other niche drama things. I missed the trigger warning. What was it? She's going to be talking a little bit about some child medical. Oh, read what Jane just put in the chat and that'll answer your question. So I have to repeat it all again. All right, let's get to. I'm going to shut the fuck up.
Hi, family. Welcome back to Mobby's Nursery. I had to take her out the box, family. Here's my little grumpy right here.
Yeah, she's grumpy.
This is the baby that was up for sale. Y'all see her face, right? She like, Mama, how dare you try to sell me? Little Miss Grumpy.
I am curious about what compels the Reborn Doll community to want one that looks pissed. She's a little quiet. I can turn her up. I think I turned down some of the audio earlier when people were saying that the alerts were too loud.
So I finally took her out the box, family. I just want to come on and say hello. Thank you to everyone who watched my channel. Thank you for all my subscribers. I just wanted to come on just for a quick second because I don't want anything misunderstood. And also I wanted to come on, and this was hard for me because when I made my first video, it took everything that I had in me not to cry, not to, just go into a mode. Because there's so much more to my story. It just after talking to my family and stuff like that, I sat by myself and I just heard the spirit just say, Angel, tell your story. Because it goes so far beyond me working.
A spirit told you to do that? Okay.
And, different things like that. And I was like, no, because I'm a private person. I don't.
So God's side is your side. Is that what you're saying? That's what it kind of sounds like. The spirits are in the dolls, maybe. Also maybe. I think she means the Holy Spirit. Well, the Holy Spirit would be God, right?
Like that. And I was like, no, because I'm a private person. You know, I don't put a lot of my personal business out here on my video and stuff. But I was like, well, okay, so here I am. I'm gonna make this video. I'm gonna try to make it as short as possible. While I hold my little grumpy. And this is my baby. So this is the baby that was to be shipped out. I took her out of the box yesterday. I unboxed her. And I took her little clothes off and stuff like that and put her on a little sleeper because she was dolled up pretty good. But anywho, so the story behind all this, you know, with the voice clips of Spring Flower, you know, pretty much calling me thirsty for the $150 and saying, well, if you needed the money, sis, you know, I would have sent you the money. All you had to do was ask instead of playing games. Okay. So the story behind this is when Spring Flower reached out to me,
Diva AAAASOMG Reborn Drama. I am here for it.
Frankie's EMF, she thanks so much for 7 months. Appreciate it.
I believe it was July 18th. I think it's somewhere around July 18th. I know it's a little bit after my birthday, and you know, we had discussed, I believe, I don't want to get the dates wrong, I'm not sure, but and if I am wrong, I will correct myself. But and after this, I'm done with it because this is just a whole bunch of foolishness. Anyway, so I didn't want to put this out here, like I said, because I'm a private person. And after she had reached out to me, a whole chain of events happened thereafter. Now, I know that she was in Mexico, and you know, from the voice message that she left, okay, she's in Mexico, she's interested in the dolls and stuff like that. So of course I wouldn't think to ship the doll while she was out of town. Just wait till she got back. Well, the only way I knew that she was back was because I saw her post a video. There was no communication saying, hey, you know, I'm back, whatever. So all this stuff is just foolishness and nonsense. But after she contacted me, I got a call. I think it was about 3 days later. I wasn't about to put my stuff out there like this, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it. And I'm praying that I can hold my stuff together. I'm gonna make it real short and sweet. But I got a call 3 days later after she contacted me, and it was about my child, one of my kids, fighting for their lives, hospitalized.
Okay.
So it was just like, as a mom, I was just like, oh my God, you know, holding on, my heart hit my toes. And I was like, oh my God, Jesus, Lord, you know, help me, you know, all the while I'm trying to prepare this baby right here to go out. Okay. So after that, you know, I had to step into watching and praying for my child to make it, my child to survive, my child to breathe, my child to wake up, my child to move. And it was scary. Okay. And then it's like, I don't have any little ones running around, but I got grandkids out here too. So then I had to figure out, like, what am I going to do, you know, to help my grandchild? What about, you know, so all these different things started happening.
Okay. All right. Okay. So she might get to this in a second. And that's fine. But my immediate thought is like, did you just communicate this? Is it like, I don't know. I mean, I know she did say, like, I'm a really personal or a really private person. But also, if this is like a business you got going on, like, I think a lot of people would probably be really understanding if, like, something in your life happened like that was gonna make it take some time. Now what I will say is, if she did say something and then Miss Springflower was acting like that, was acting like, I've waited a month, I've been waiting a month, then that's crazy on Springflower's part, you know?
And then in the midst of working and field trips and doing all this stuff, I got this baby wrapped up. When Springflower reached out to me the first time, she reached out to me about the baby. Me and my son, we immediately went out to Burlington and bought her up all this stuff, you know, prettied up her box and all this. And
like Burlington Coat Factory, it's More Than Great Coats, or Burlington, Vermont. Burlington, Iowa is nearby where I grew up. I used to think, wait, can I tell you a side story about Burlington Coat Factory? I thought that was specific to Burlington, Iowa, which was like across the river from where I grew up. I thought that was just a thing in Burlington, Iowa. Wait, I used to work in Burlington, Iowa? Diva, I've been there many times. Diva, I've been to the Burlington, Iowa. In fact, actually, I mean, not to put my brother on blast, but my brother works at Burlington to this day.
So
You should ask Kira how she feels about Burlington. How does Kira feel about Burlington? Is there a video? I would like to know.
I'm sitting up here looking at her. She is like really beautiful. So in the midst of all this, hold on, give me a minute.
Oh, I've given you several minutes.
Okay, sorry, family. I was just like, either my son was about to come in the room or my husband was about to come in the room. My son always say, "Mom, what you doing?" You know, like making a video. But anyway, long story short, you know, with the communication that was had, the little bit of communication that was had, you know, I was like in between a rock and a hard place. Okay, because I was concerned about my baby.
Sure,
you know,
that's
whether
reasonable.
my baby was gonna live, whether my baby, you know, whether my baby was gonna wake up or stay asleep. Okay, and I don't want to go too far into detail, but then I had to go into grandma mode and figure out, you know, providing a roof, a safe haven for my grandchild. Okay, so there's a whole lot to this, you guys, and I tried to put it on just me working, and I do, you know, I'm a driver, you know, first, and then I do home health care second and stuff. On top of my younger kids, my older kids are older, and I didn't have no little one running around here, but now I do. You know, so there's a lot of things that played a factor in the fact that this little girl right here did not ship out as fast as Springflower wanted her to. I was going through. I was hurting. I'm hiding all this. I'm like, you know, I wasn't going to tell nobody about none of this stuff. I'm like, I don't put my personal stuff out there like that, especially nothing this serious. And so then after that, you know.
I also, my other thing is like, is she talking about a real baby? I'm confused. Mary 625, absolutely understand why you might be confused. I believe she is talking about like when she's referring to the person who is not well. It's her real life child that she's calling baby. It is also kind of confusing because she talks about how she doesn't have any little ones. I think her children are adults, but I do think it's her real life child. Yeah. But it is confusing because she obviously has baby dolls too. So yeah, the other reason I paused though, outside of reading that comment, was what? was what? Oh, my thoughts are like, why didn't she just also share this in the original video too? Like, I don't remember. Correct me if I'm wrong, those of you that were here yesterday, but I don't remember her saying anything about. I remember Springflower saying if you had stuff going on, then that's fine. I can be understanding, but like, this is still your business or something. I feel like Springflower said that. I don't remember her saying anything about this to begin with, which also could have potentially, like, I get that she's a private person, but I don't know why you wouldn't just provide some of that context.
Communicating and letting her know about the tariffs, and you know, you pick whatever thing is best for you. Then she wanted to tell me how she wanted her baby shipped first class, and I'm just like, wait a minute, you know, I'm not gonna get into all that. I already made a video and stuff like that, but I'm just trying to round it up so that I can end this video because I don't want it being long.
Well, I don't want it being long. The video is quite literally 53 minutes and 43 seconds long.
A lot of things played a factor in why this baby right here did not ship as fast as Springflower wanted her to. I wasn't playing no games. I'm not a thief. I'm not a scammer. I'm not none of those things that she called me. She said that it's been over a month. It has not been over a month. It has not. From the time that she communicated with me, inquired about my babies, and being out in Mexico, having to go back to Bermuda, I'm waiting on her to get home, and I'm thinking like, I don't believe that there was a message saying, "Hey, Angel, I'm home," you know. It may be. I don't know. I'm not because I haven't even went back to over.
It may be. I don't know, girl. I do kind of need you to come with some receipts because you just happen to have all them voice clips. You had all those voice clips ready to go, but now you don't know if Springflower said that to you. You're not sure what dates these things happened. It's also kind of funny that she's holding the baby that was for Springflower in the video. This baby is so funny to me for a lot of reasons, and that's one of them. It's like, this is the baby. the baby that was supposed to go to Springflower. And also, look how pissed off this baby looks. It's cracking me up. It's so funny.
Hear or listen to. I don't even want to hear her voice. I don't want to hear her voice because I felt like it was totally disrespectful because I didn't feel like I had to tell Springflower that my child was clinging to life. I didn't even know how to have that conversation, you know, because she had already...
Here's a very easy let's get to. Hey, I have a family emergency. It's gonna take me a little bit longer. Is that okay?
That baby thinks this whole thing is bullshit too.
Cecily Ann, thanks so much for 7 months. But I think it's really as easy as just saying, hey, I have a family emergency. I can't get into details. Perhaps I can just give you a refund, and once things calm down for me, we can, because, like, let's also just be clear. Ain't nothing about these reborn babies. If you've watched Springflower's channel, she has a lot of baby dolls. You can tell just by clicking on it, okay? Ain't nothing about this baby doll that's on this screen right now that's an emergency.
already perceived in her mind who I was as a person, as a human being. She already told me I was a thief. If I needed the money, all I had to do was ask her for the money. She would have sent it. She would have just gave me the money. You know, you're playing games. You're you know, all the negativity that went came my way. You know, so while I'm hearing these messages in my ear, I'm looking at my child in the face and praying that my child make it through. On the other side of here, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to take care of my grandchild. You know, provide shelter and make sure that, you know.
Okay. I mean, to be fair, I don't know that Springflower knew that. It doesn't sound like Springflower knew that.
That my grandchild is well taken care of. And, you know, now I'm at the point where I have to put my grandchild, you know, possibly put my grandchild through school. I possibly have to raise my grandchild until they are, you know.
I just, like, listen, Springflower ain't Sylvia Brown. She can't read your mind. Well, it's not a thing Sylvia Brown said she could do. She's not a psychic, though. She's not a medium. She doesn't know what your thoughts are. She paid you $150 for a baby doll. That's a lot of money to spend on a baby doll, girl. So in her mind, she's just concerned about getting what she paid for. And I'm not saying that, like, you know, she couldn't be more patient or anything. I'm just saying, like, how is she supposed to know that you're going through all of this if you ain't said nothing to her? The fact that this wasn't mentioned at all in the last video seems like maybe exaggerating. Well, I don't even know if she's exaggerating. It sounds like it's something real that happened. I just think it's like, oh, you're bringing it up now? Like now?
18 years old. You know, nobody is in control of life's events. You know, I was in a place in my life where I could not control what was going on. And part of me wanted to pick up the phone and say, hey, you know, this is what's going on. But I think even with the type of person that she is, I think that the way she came out at me... You
don't know. So what you're saying is you didn't, first of all. Second of all, you can't just assume what her response would be. I don't know, from the video we watched of her yesterday, she seemed generally like a nice person. I mean, like, it's hard to say just from, like, one YouTube video, but... Not to mention, didn't she know anyone that could have shipped it for her? Well, also, yeah, who knows? She probably has some help and things like that, but I just don't understand why Miss Ma'am hasn't just used her words. Just use your words, diva.
The type of person that she is, and she's talking about her getting angry and say, see, Angel, this is why. The reason why that I'm angry because you're playing games and you're this, that, and the other. But I wanted to so bad to pick up that phone and say, hey, this is what's going on in my life.
Do it.
This was tragic to me. Because my child was clinging to life. I didn't know if my child was going to pull through. You know.
Listen, I can have so much empathy for that. I've been in really tough situations with family members and potentially losing them and things like that. So I'm trying to, like, you give some grace. And oftentimes in situations like that, it is really hard to keep doing all of the other things in your life, all the other stuff that you have to do, you know? And also, like, you still have to do those things. And sometimes doing those things just means saying to whoever you're working with, hey, I've got a lot of heavy shit going on. Can you give me grace? It's interesting to me that, like, she feels like she has to go into full on detail about it.
And thank God for being God and being who He is, because my child lives. He's a savior. He has the saving power. God has the last word, and there's still some healing that has to go on. But I feel like if I would have called her, and I'm gonna make this short, I'm gonna try to make it as short as possible.
Girl, you are not trying. You are not trying to make it as short as possible, because we are only about 12 minutes in. And this is a 53-minute long video. I just want to stop you right there, Diva.
I tell my story because I kept just hearing it in my spirit, like, Angel, just tell your story, because it's far beyond me, going to work every day and stuff like that. And so I felt like even if I would have called her, because she already made up in her mind who I was as a person, she still wouldn't have believed me. She would not have believed that I was going through what I was going through.
That's a lot of assumptions to make. When we just don't communicate because we've already assumed what the response is going to be, nothing productive is going to happen. I'm just also saying that from experience.
All she wanted was the doll. I never possessed the money. PayPal holds onto the money until the transaction is complete. She felt like she had to file a chargeback or whatever the case may be. These were her decisions, and all I was trying to do is find a break. I was trying to be able to breathe.
I thought you said you refunded her. What do you mean you never had the money? You said in the last video we watched that you refunded her the money. See, that's the part of this that's also really confusing to me.
So that I can make that move and, push this baby on in the mail. It has not been a month. It still ain't even a month since Springflower made contact with me. It has not been a month. So
PayPal will hold the money usually. I mean, I'm inclined to believe that. I think she just said that she refunded the money to like make it sound like she did what she was supposed to. But why are we still pushing the babies out? That's what you do.
Whenever the date was that she popped on that video, she came back and she made a video talking about she went to Mexico and got her dental work and stuff like that. Whatever date that was that she got back home is when I believe the transaction should have started, because the baby was boxed up and all that stuff. But it's just unfortunately that the situation in my life happened, or in my child's life happened, which involved me because I'm mom.
So what she's also saying is that Springflower is basing this month-long period off of, here's when I placed the order. And she's basing it hasn't been a month off of, well, I was waiting until you got back from Mexico. Well, girl, it doesn't sound like that was Springflower's expectation. That sounds like another like assumption she made. Because what's also not to say that like, maybe, I don't know anything about Springflower's life, but like maybe she lives with somebody who could have collected the package or something, I don't remember talking about her child in the last video. Did I miss that? No, she didn't talk about her child in the last video. This baby did not want to go to Bermuda. This baby doesn't look like she wants to do a whole lot of nothing, to be honest with you.
Everything was just hard for me to push. I'm trying to work. I'm trying to figure things out. I'm trying to, pray to God that my child is saved. All these things. I'm not going to keep on repeating that because I think y'all get it.
Well, yeah.
See, I know.
Got it.
One of the people on the video said that, that they used to be a doll collector and stuff like that. They, since has not, did that, close the channel down or whatever the case may be. I understand that. And normally, 1 to 3 business days is, when the baby should be shipped or the product should be shipped, and, that's it. That's all. Okay. I understand that. But when tragedy happens, when something happens in a person's life, I'm not a thief. I'm not I'm not anything that she called me. I'm tired of even saying that. I'm twisting up my words now because it's just like, I didn't want to make this video, but I felt like I had to make this video. I don't even want to hear Springflower's voice ever again. But I'm not those things that she called me. I don't need her money. I don't have to sell my baby. I don't. I'm so glad. I mean, through it all, I'm so glad that I did not send my baby nowhere. I mean, I'm just going to put it out there. Like, I'm glad. When I unboxed my baby, I was like, oh my God. You know, gave her kisses all over the place. But I'm trying to keep this short and sweet. But
If she says, I'm trying to keep this short and sweet, one more time. One more time. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know. Do you think she's trying to keep this short? I don't know if she's trying to keep... Maybe she's heavy on the sweet. Maybe it's heavy on the sweet today.
I'm none of those things. I'm none of those things. And so from the date that Springflower, I guess, because I don't know when she made it home. So from the date that she posted that video talking about she just came back from Mexico and she went over to Mexico to get her dental work, I guess that's when she got back home. So from that day, there was like a straight push. And from that moment, this is what I was going through in my life.
A straight push what? What do you mean?
I had this baby boxed up, packaged up, just ready to roll in the car. And so then all I needed was a window, just an open window where I could breathe, where I can say, okay, whew, let me run this baby to the post office, ship her off, boom, boom.
Because I also just want to say, originally the main thing that seemed to be the issue was the tariffs. We've spent 16 minutes of this video and we haven't even mentioned the tariffs yet. Like,
my car breaks down. I was taking care of my grandchild, taking care of business for him. I had my son with me. I was like, okay, we're getting ready to... I go to pull out the parking lot, and my steering got like really, really, really tight. I said, oh, snap. My lights started flashing on my dash. I said, oh, snap. I was like, okay, wait a minute. No. I said, well, I got to get somewhere where I can be safe, you know. And so I managed to get up to the car parts store. But as soon as I pulled up in there, I couldn't go into the lot. My car ended up like this, like sideways. So they had to put cones around my car, you know.
With so much love and I want this to be so gentle. But how is it that everything that could go wrong went wrong? And how are we just now hearing about this when you already made a whole other video where none of this stuff came up? She absolutely did not bring up the car breaking down yesterday.
Keep the other customers from, parking or getting too close to my car. So I was like, oh my God, that was just like another blow to me. And I was like, oh my God.
God himself intervened to keep her from shipping this fucking doll. Yeah, God said, you know what? The real story is this pissy little baby needs to stay with you. This pissy little baby needs to stay with you. I'm going to intervene and I'm going to make everything in your life go wrong.
I'm like, this is not happening. So all type of things just transpired. And they checked my battery. My battery's only charging at 8%. I think it's like 14% that a battery should charge. And then after that, they did the diagnostic test, and they did the diagnostic test for turn your head. They did a diagnostic test for
this baby's face,
for my alternator.
This baby's face slays me.
You heavy. I'll put your arm under there.
Girl, you don't have to hold this doll.
It's like, Mama, what you doing? What you doing, Mama?
This babe. Never mind. Never mind. You don't have to hold the doll. Nobody's making you.
Yeah, they did the diagnostic test for the alternator, and this is just at the auto parts store. So they was like, well, the alternator.
Why do I need to know about the car breaking down? Well, I don't need to know the details and specifics of the alternator, the battery, the whoever, the whatever. I really don't. I do believe she wasn't focused on the transaction with her family issues going on, and that's fair, and I feel for her, but she needed to communicate the delay at some point. Someone paid. Oh, that's really my feelings, too. The doll's name is short and sweet, and she's keeping it. Wait, bug babes. Yes. That's why she keeps saying she's keeping it short and sweet. That is so funny. That is so funny. Ooh.
Bad. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, can y'all do it to where, you know, I might charge up my battery, do whatever you got to do. I want to get my car home. And so they was like, well, you taking a risk because my ABS light came on, my steering wheel light came on, I guess with the power steering, and then my ABS, my power steering, my battery light came on, and I think it was a fourth light. They just started flashing like simultaneously, and I knew I was in trouble. I was like, oh my God, I said, this is not happening. And by this time, it's just like, you know, I'm still hearing her voice in my head. I'm just hearing her voice in my head. You're this, you're that, and you're you're a scammer. No. You're out here scamming people.
Also, when did she send those messages? Because you said you were thinking about them while you're sitting with your kid. You think about them while you're sitting here with your broken down car. Girl, you messed up. You have to fix it at the end of the day. You're running a business. Also that part. It's just like, yeah, you made a mistake. It's fine. Some of this feels like a little bit like an ego thing. It's okay to make mistakes. It really is. Me when I have 70,000 baby dolls, but my car is breaking down with no gas. Love it. Do you think she has a car seat in the car for the baby, or does it sit up front? There are a lot of people who have reborns that like go to the extent of putting them in car seats and stuff like that. I don't know about her, but
out here
does she make the dolls? So she paints the dolls. You can't paint the dolls. You can't read the dolls, honey. No, she paints the dolls.
I mean, people, like, I just kept hearing that in my head all while I'm going through this, and I was just like, I can't do this. And then it was just like, even in the midst of my car cutting off on me, once they did charge up my battery, I said, no, I'm getting my car home. I just want to get my car home. And so I drove it to the house. Thank God I only lived a couple minutes down the road, but it was risky. I got my car home, and then the next day I just, later on that evening, I went on and called AAA and put my car in the shop. And now I'm driving a rental, you know, so all this stuff transpiring in my life and stuff like that. And I was just trying to just breathe. I'm telling you, it was so hard, like, to keep on going and go to work every day. And, you know, my, getting up and my routine changing with my grand.
Dan Leaf Art, thanks so much for 47 months. Seems she has issues with lots of types of batteries. What does that mean? Wait, was the baby still in the car? Girl, I don't know. It's not real! It's fine. It's fine if it was in the car.
Child, and, you know, continue to pray for my child.
Oh, the battery and the smoke alarm that's still going off. Yeah. Yeah. I'm no longer listening to anything she's saying because it's too boring. Who cares, girl? Ron Bone, you're welcome to click off whenever you need.
You know, it was hard, and it's still hard because it was just like everything changed in an instant. You know, while I'm hearing this woman, nice, nasty, pretty much cuss me out without cussing me out, without saying cuss words.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's the way I took it, and it's real.
Girl, we heard the voice notes. You played them. She didn't cuss. There was no cussing. There was no cussing in those messages. Is that a doll head next to her with the yellow bow? Oh, girl, like to the left of her? Oh, girl, that must be. I didn't even see that in the corner.
For a person to listen in when it's not directed towards you and you're not really going through anything and it's on another person, you'd be like, oh, well, I didn't hear anything that was aggressive, or I didn't hear anything that was disrespectful. Everything that she brought out of her mouth towards me was disrespectful. You know, because I know that there may be like protocol to getting things out, but you just never know what may occur in the midst of that transaction. You know, in the midst of you know, pushing the order out or pushing the baby out. I've heard plenty of times, you know.
pushing a baby out. We are not giving birth to these babies. Let's just also be clear about that. I get what she's saying to some extent. Like, there certainly is a world where it's like, you never know what somebody's going through. You should always treat people with kindness. But but also she didn't have the context for what you were going through in life, Diva. She didn't know that these things were happening to you. And so, like, could her tone have been different? Sure. Absolutely. But you can't just be like, well, she should have not talked to me like that because she didn't know what I could have been going through. Like, please.
Even with spring flower, well, give me a couple of days, sis, give me a couple of days, sis, and I'll get that baby out, or I'll get this out, and I'll get that. I've heard a lot of collectors say that is sold a doll. If you just need a couple of days to get things together because you got so much going on, you're trying to get your kids ready for school, you're trying to do this and do that, and, tragedy happened or whatever. It don't even got to be tragedy. It could just be sickness or something like that, But because a product, if somebody's being honest with you and communicating with you,
But but it doesn't sound like you were being honest and communicating with her. That's the problem. That is actually really truly the problem. Honestly, if you had communicated any of this to her and then she responded the way that we heard her respond, that would have been a different story.
Give a person time, pick up the phone and say, hey, is everything okay? But
Also, she's a customer. She's a customer, so it is not her responsibility to call you, the person she's buying something with, and say, hey, is everything okay? Are you okay as a person? She purchased the service from you. That's some weird parasocial shit if you think she should be checking and asking you how you're doing. What?
That's what I was going through, and I'm still going through it, and I'm doing better now because I know.
I mean, I'm glad to hear that.
When I did my first video, I had to fight back all my tears. I had to fight it back because one thing about spring flower is with spring flower, we're not like kin or nothing like that. She's a YouTuber. I'm a YouTuber. I just get on here and just make my little videos. I'm not, out of 1,000,005 subscribers and all that stuff. I don't care about none of that stuff.
Well, Springflower isn't 1,000,005 subscribers either, just to be clear.
My channel is going to watch my channel. Whoever's going to love me is going to love me, for who I am. I'm not on here trying to impress nobody. I'm not trying to get anything from nobody. And I'm definitely not a thief. I'm definitely not scamming nobody. Here's the baby. She kept telling me to send pictures. I need you to send pictures of the baby, sis. I need you to do this and I need you to do that. I need you to send this baby first class. Send her out tomorrow. And all while she's just like coming at me like this, like this. I'm trying to figure life out right now because I need to figure out what's going on with my child. I need to figure out what am I going to do with my grandchild. I need to figure out all these things. And then my car break down on me in the midst of me running her to finishing up for my grandchild and shipping her to the post office. My car went down. Her box was right there in the back seat.
But girl, the tariffs. I'm still on the number one thing. See, the thing is I was down with her in the first video we watched because she said, honey, the tariffs, and then she said she communicated that problem, that issue with the tariffs. And I was like, yeah, that seems to change some things up. If you weren't expecting to pay $150 to ship this baby doll to Bermuda, that makes a lot of sense to me that you might reconvene. You didn't say none of this. OMG, I just went and found Springflower's channel and she must have bought this same doll off of someone else. It's in her latest video. I think I did see her post some kind of doll that had a pissy looking face like this. I do think I remember seeing in when we were looking yesterday. The problem with this is it's going to backfire because people are going to see this and not going to want to do business with her. Yeah, from a business perspective also, I am confused why she thinks this makes her look good as a as a vendor, as a seller. I thought the tariffs were for a sale over $600. Girl, I don't know nothing. I'm not selling things overseas, so I didn't really look into that, to be honest. Did she return the money? I'm like, well, the story about the money is interesting because she's kind of said two different things about it. In the first video we watched of hers, she said, I gave Spring Flower a refund. In both videos, she's referenced Spring Flower issuing a chargeback to PayPal. And in this video in particular, she specifically said, I never even had the money because PayPal holds it until the transaction is complete. So, girl, your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. It's not her business. I think she said Spring Flower gave her the idea to sell a doll. I think she didn't before. Oh, maybe then that's part of the problem. Maybe because she's not doing this as a profession, maybe she's just not used to it.
So instead of me leaving her in the heat, I brought that box in. I went on to call AAA, and I'm like, y'all, come get my car, you know.
There's your answer. There's your answer for all the... Not me pointing Stanley Murray at you all. There's the answer. There's the answer for you all. She didn't leave the baby in the car. She said, I will not leave this baby. She said, I will not leave this baby in the heat.
Of course, you know, you talk to them and stuff when they get there, and you're like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, I think it's the alternator, you know, whatever. They took care of me. And then as her box sat, and as her Spring Flower's voice just kept ringing through my head. And the one thing that grabbed me the most, and I did when I first made my video, I fought back the tears. I think I'm okay now. My eyes are a little watery, but when she said, Angel, I don't know what it is that you're going through. She said, but whatever it is of no concern to her. That stabbed me right in my heart. That was like a slap in the face, a kick in the stomach. Because when she hurt, I hurt. When Spring Flower cried, I cried. And a lot of us did. Because we have compassionate hearts. When you make a video like that, when you lose somebody that you love.
Just to be clear, I don't think y'all are friends. It's getting real parasocial over here, which I was feeling vibes and energy of that yesterday, if you remember. I was feeling some of those vibes yesterday because it was feeling real Rosie adjacent for at different points. Was that this, or was that the resin drama? It's all feeling parasocial. That was this. Okay. 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 Yeah. Girl, I mean, she could have said it nicer, for sure. She could have said it nicer. Absolutely. She didn't, but she also doesn't owe you that. Yesterday, she clearly said they were not family, they were not cousins. No, exactly.
Of a natural disaster hit, and you get on there and you make a video saying this that happened to me. You want compassion, you want sympathy, you want empathy, you want all of these things because you do it just to let people know, hey, this is what's going on and I'm hurting right now.
I'm gonna stop you right there, and I wanna point out different things. So if you don't know, she's calling back to this is not even related to the sale of the reborn doll, okay? What Angel is talking about is that prior to all of this, Spring Flower lives in Bermuda. I think there was a hurricane or something. There was flooding. Experienced a lot of emergency needs and made a video about it. And Angel even talked about how she contributed money to that GoFundMe. Okay? Unrelated to the baby doll. Now what Angel's saying, you made a video about that, and when you hurt, I hurt. And so you should hurt the same way that I'm hurting right now because of the stuff happening with my child. The difference, Angel, that I'm going to help you with here is Springflower shared that. Springflower shared that with you and her community and her audience. And that's why you knew about it. From what you've said right here, Springflower had no idea what you were going through because you didn't communicate that you were experiencing a family emergency. Unless I'm misunderstanding this whole entire situation. Like, that's the difference. And yes, she could have been nicer about it, because yes, you never know what people are going through. But this is just communication 101, Diva. It really is. It really is. Saying all this with that pouty ass baby is taking me out. It is really funny. Angel, you donated your money to a GoFundMe. Springflower paid for a service. Also that. Very different things. Very different things.
I didn't put on there what I was going through. I didn't make a video immediately. I just had to go through it, and I'm still going through it. So nobody knew what I was going through. Nobody knew what was going on with my child. Nobody knew that now all of a sudden I have a grandbaby living with me.
Also, that and that's your prerogative. You also don't have to share that, but you don't get to live in this world where like everybody's expected to treat you differently because that's happening if nobody knew about it. Is that wild? Is that like, am I just off base?
Nobody knows that because I didn't put it out there like that. But when Springflower said that to me, I cried when Springflower lost her friend. I mean, I was just like, wow, because I can understand. I was compassionate about it. I gave, even though it wasn't nothing but $100 when the flood came and damaged whatever it damaged. $100 ain't much, but I gave from myself, and I don't even know you. For real, we strangers.
Okay. Heavy on that part. You're strangers. She paid for a service. Just because you did something nice for... This is the other thing. I really struggle with people on the internet who are like, I did something nice for you, now I expect people to do something nice to me in return. Like, that's just wild. Like, if you give to a GoFundMe, you are relinquishing that money to the person that you're doing it, and you are just trusting that that person's going to do what they said they're going to do with it, and you're giving that money to that GoFundMe because you care about them, you know? Like, you don't do those things because you expect them to do anything in return. I don't understand.
You're in a different land than I'm in. We're in different parts of the world. But because we share the same interests, I consider you being my doll sister. Not no more, but I considered you then being a doll sister. But I ain't trying to go there in this video like that.
What the fuck is a doll sister?
But I'm just saying, when you said that whatever I was going through, we're all going through stuff, Angel. Even me, Angel.
We all have problems, Effie.
Hurt. That was just like you taking a knife and just stabbing me straight in my back. And all this is over a doll. $150 that never reached my hands. It never reached my hands because PayPal still got it, not unless you'd already been reimbursed. I ain't even checked into nothing.
Well, okay. You did say she was refunded. You said you refunded her.
I haven't checked into nothing.
See, in these stories are changing. It's killing me. It's killing me.
I don't want to hear your voice. I don't want to see your face. None of that stuff. And I can understand, you know, I took my baby out of that box, and I'm gonna have to go get me some totes and stuff like that, because I bought her so much. Me and my son went to Burlington and just went crazy buying her stuff. I mean, we filled that box up with beautiful blankets, hair bows, Pampers, wipes, socks, sleepers, sippy cups, you know, different things, little trinkets for her, hair bows and earrings and these little bobble things. And I mean, she was decked out. She was ready to go. She was ready to go and go home to her new mommy. I just needed to breathe. I just needed a window and a door to open up for me to just push through and say, okay, let me take this baby. That's what I was waiting for. That was the moment I was waiting for. And to hear those words from Spring Flower, it cut like a knife, because I was hurting on the inside, and I was trying to maneuver through. I was trying to get around it. I was trying to get this baby where she needed to go. I was trying. Well, now, sis, I'm going to have to do a chargeback because you're playing games. You're doing this and doing that. And my baby was clinging to life.
I just, at no point did you think about no point you thought about sharing any of that. You said this is somebody that's your doll sister, and you couldn't even say, hey, I have a family emergency going on right now. Maybe we do a poll at the end to see whose side we're on. Yeah, we can.
My baby was fighting for her life. And she said all type of things. I was not playing games, Spring Flower. I was hurting. I was trying to figure things out. But I'm good.
I mean, I do think it's probably true that, like, Angel was not intentionally playing games. Sometimes I just watch people struggle with communication, and I think, God, I would love to help people learn how to talk to each other, you know? Because it feels like so much of this could just be resolved if people just knew how to talk to each other. Like, her real baby, like, human, I know you came in late, Casey, but it's her real human child who is an adult that had something, like, bad happen emergency-wise. So, yeah. Even with a family emergency, I feel like it doesn't take that much effort or brain power to drop something off at the post office. Well, mouthful of turkey squirt, I think what she still hasn't got to in this video is that the original excuse she had for it taking so long was that something came up with the cost of shipping and the tariffs. And she has yet to say anything about that, but originally her story was, oh, well, I found out that there was tariffs, and so I was waiting to hear back from her about if there was a different way we could send it. And she had different preferences for how to send it to get it to her, this, that, the other. So that's the part of this story today that's missing for me, because she so far has made it sound like it was just as simple as, like, I just needed to drop it off at the post office and I just didn't have time. And there was just never a window of opportunity for me to do that. But that's not what the story was in the last video. This is why I'm also just like, Diva, what is going on here? I want to be on Angel's side to some extent. It's just hard because, like, the story doesn't add up in many ways for me right now.
I'm good. And I know that people are saying, you know, don't lose a friendship over a doll.
Well, you said you're not friends.
Work it out. I don't want to work it out. I don't want to mend anything. I don't want to fix anything. Because to me, that's not a friend. I've never been disrespected like that in my life. And that's my right hand to God. I ain't never been disrespected like that in my life. I don't want no parts. Because my child is still struggling. Okay. Now I'm a mama grandma. And I got my baby back. I unboxed my baby.
Well, and now she's talking about this doll baby. So there's an adult child, a grandchild, and then there's baby in her hands right now as we speak.
I unboxed my baby because I didn't want her to stay in that box no longer. And it felt like when I opened up this box to get her out of it, that's when I started breathing. That's when I started breathing. But I'm sorry, y'all, I'm gonna get off of here. I just needed y'all to know.
She's not gonna get off of here. We're at 30 minutes and 19 seconds, and once again, this video is 53 minutes and 43 seconds long.
Just had to tell my story. And now my child is doing better. And I'm just continue to pray for healing. It's gonna be a big, huge healing process. You know, we're getting ready to kick off the school year, and I gotta stay focused. I gotta stay focused because no matter what I'm going through here, I'm gonna have babies behind me that I have to protect. I'm gonna have other kids behind me that I have to protect. So
the equation of her being able to finally breathe while her real child is not doing well, but she was finally able to breathe when she unboxed this not real child from the box, does feel like some cognitive dissonance. It feels like there's something missing there. Yeah. You know?
I just gotta stay focused. I gotta stay focused. And know that that God heals. He's gonna heal my child. You know, bring everything back around. And you know, we won't what we always say, Godspeed. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. But
you can pivot out of the video anytime you want. She's not going to say anything more new to the situation, just a lot of rehashing of feelings. So you're telling me she's not going to bring up the tariffs again? You're telling me that she never want? I'm gonna search for the word tariff in the transcript because that feels wild to me. Tariff. Oh, she said it at 8 minutes. So she brought up the tariffs briefly, and I just must have skimmed past that part because at 8 minutes and 4 seconds. She said, and so then after that, you know, communicating and letting her know about the tariffs and, you know, you pick whatever thing is best for you. Then she wanted to tell me how she wanted her baby shipped first class. What kind of doll is that? A little pissy one. It's a little pissy doll. I'm so curious what the comments have to say. You should have told her you had an emergency situation. She may very well have understood. You didn't give her a chance to understand. Sis, first of all, your dolls are beautiful. You're very talented. I do think you could have handled the whole situation better. You escalated the situation when you made the original post about her. We all make mistakes, but we live and we learn. Best wishes to you as you move forward. Why did you unpack that doll? Why did you not just send it out? You could have handled the situation better. Such an adorable baby. Grandma's baby corner. My name is Nicole, and I'm also known as Grandma. I collect all kinds of dolls. I especially love baby dolls. I love vintage and rag dolls as well as reborn dolls. I love replicas as well as the more expensive artist-made reborn dolls. I've collected dolls for as long as I can remember, although I didn't know I was a collector then, just a little girl who grew up loving all dolls. Now that I am a grandma, I still love and collect baby dolls of all kinds and sizes. Thank you for taking the time to come by my little spot here. Grandma's baby doll corner. Why is that baby purple? Why is that baby purple? Okay, sorry. Y'all know how I am. Y'all know how I am. I get so distracted so easily. I get so distracted so easily. Maybe it would have been a good idea to tell the person who paid you over $100 about what was happening. It's weird you'd expect sympathy from her about your situation when she literally had no idea what you were going through because you never told her. Now you are crying and sympathy baiting to try to make Springflower look bad because you were playing with her money and time and she was never updated on your situation. I also don't understand why you wouldn't tell her that your grandchild was ill when you just told all of us who don't even know you. Wake that up. Did you all see that girl who put her cat's ashes in a reborn doll? No, I sure didn't. I sure did not. I sure did not. Alright, well, do y'all want to do a poll to assess whose side you're on at the end of all of this? Let's see. Oh, wait. Oh, somebody already started. One of the mods already started it. See, this is what happens. Y'all get yourself a good team of mods and they'll just do these things for you. I was ready. I was ready. Your Gmail storage is 49% full. Ugh, I don't need Gmail to start telling me shit like that. So far, Springflower is taking it. 95% of the people in chat have said they are on Springflower's side. Where's Jenna on the poll? Y'all are stupid. I can't believe Miss Amberlynn Reed fell for that. What do you know about being full? I wanted the doll on the poll. You better believe that Little Miss Ma'am is going to be featured in the thumbnail. you know Miss Ma'am is going to be featured in the thumbnail. All right, we are at 91% on Springflower's side. 53 people voted that, and 5 people, or 9% of the vote, have selected Angel. I accidentally picked Angel because I misclicked to open the poll, but here we are. Oh my god, we're gonna have to redo it. We're gonna have to redo the poll. 92% is the final verdict are on Springflower's side. What I will say is I think it's very clear that Springflower did have a video up about the situation that is no longer there, and I wish we could have seen that. But unfortunately, I was not in this corner of the internet at the time to have saved something like that for us to check into. But here we are. Here we are. My final verdict, I think, is that, one, everybody probably could have communicated better, and two, it seems like Angel's conveniently bringing up this story now after maybe she didn't get the response she wanted the first time. So, anyways, that's all I got. All right. Thanks so much for watching, YouTubies. Bye, YouTubies. Subscribe.